I go to 9 o'clock service, she goes to 11. And so, of course, now that we've met, we'll run into each other all the time. But she is just a sweetheart, and I can't wait for you all to hear her. So, Miss DeKesha Williams.
All right. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so very much for having me. And so I first want to see how many mothers do we have in here today at the lunch. Oh my goodness, almost about 90% here. So it's really funny because motherhood is about finding the strength that you did not know you had and facing fears that you did not know that were going to be upon you. And it's really funny because it's very similar to entrepreneurship. So when you're starting a business, you have to find the strength to really hustle through developing your business. And then you're going to be faced with some obstacles, of course, throughout that journey. So today I want to take a few minutes to really share with you really 3 principles that I know will not only change your life, but change your business as well. And those 3 principles are about expanding your vision, changing from the inside out, and if you want better, you have to do better in order to live better. So, at first, I'd like to thank Heather and Rita and, of course, Julie for putting me in contact with this wonderful organization. And I'll start by really telling you, I was having some conversations before we were eating about how I really started as a business strategist for Visions Consulting. And it started with a conversation with my daughter. And at this time, she was 10. And she said, Mommy, do you realize that you've missed the first week of school 3 years in a row? And I said, well, considering that you put it that way, no, I haven't. But I was a district manager for a children's photography company, and I managed 13 stores over 5 states. So I spent a lot of time at Hartsfield International Airport. And so working in retail for over 20 years, you all know that the fourth quarter is what? The busiest season of the year. So our fourth quarter meeting was always the first week of September. Always the first week of September. But I was doing something that I love doing. I was chasing my dream. But I was missing out on what was important to my daughter. And that's what I really took away from that conversation. So it was funny because I said, I don't know how I'm going to fix this situation, but when she goes to middle school, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be home. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it's going to happen. And my son was going to kindergarten at that time. And so somehow I lost the same job twice. What? I always get that. I always get that response. I lost the same job twice. And so I remember it like it was yesterday. It was January the 10th, 2010. We received an email. I still have the email. That our company had ceased operation. Now, I know that some of you have been in a situation where you've received that dreadful phone call, and when the phone rings, you just know it's something negative. It's just something about that special ring. But I was going about my day as normal, and I was dropping my son off at his daycare, and he was a little special one, so he wouldn't just go into class. He had to stand at the door and wave. He had to tell me bye before he went into his class. And so my regional manager called and said, hey, did you get the message? Did you get the news? No. He said, yeah, the company is shut down. And now you have to call your entire team of over 60-something employees and tell them that they have to go home. That was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. And so for 4 months, I was without a job. I had to depend on unemployment. And I had just started Sassy Shoe Gallery. This is how I met Julie. And so miraculously, in April, they were bought out of bankruptcy. And so they called us all back in to open all 160 locations. And so I did so. And that was really how I learned how to run someone else's business. And so it just became to a point where I knew that this just wasn't for me. So I gave them my pink slip. This time, I went on leave of absence. August the 24th, 2011. And I'm still on leave of absence. I am still on leave of absence because they filed bankruptcy April 12, 2012. So I really had nowhere else to go. And so sometimes in life, you're really put into a situation where you just have to go and follow a path of your passion. And that's really how I started with the consulting. You know, some of you may have heard of Sassy Shoe Gallery. I wrote a business plan. I submitted it not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. And until they actually gave me $31,500 to start a dream. Because the company had not existed yet. To start a dream. And so that's why it's very important that you have to be able to see the bigger picture. And so sometimes blessings come in disguises. And so I wouldn't be here had I not lost my job twice. And, you know, and I say to you that you have to, you know, expand your goals, expand your reach beyond your organization here. Tap into the other eWomen networks outside of the Richmond network, you know, and they always say that if your goals if they're not laughing at your goals, then they're not large enough, right? And so I truly believe that. And so it's, I'll share with you my son. He just turned 10 last Sunday, but he loves football, and he was 4, and he played flag football. And it's I-9 sports. Some of you may have heard of I-9. So it's only 8 weeks, right? 6 weeks he sat on the sideline. He never got in the game. But we went to, and he loves football. Let me express to you that he loves football. But for some strange reason, we went to practice every Sunday, and he would not get off the sideline. I don't know why. And so this we made sure that he took pictures, because I really felt like it was important. You're a part of a team. You're not going to quit, and you're going to go out here, and you're going to see the season through. And so we came to pick up pictures on the last week of the season. And his coach walked up to him and said, "Jaden, if you get in the game one time, I'll show you what to do, and I got you." Do you know that he got on that field, and they blew the whistle, and they threw him the ball, and that little boy took off running and scored a touchdown.
All right.
On the first time he put his hands on the ball.
Wow.
And you know, it's really important, and I share that story. Now, as upset as I was for 8 weeks straight that he has not gotten in this game, I actually saw something different out of that story. Number 1, consistency, dedication, and teamwork. Because from that day forward, he has not gotten off the football field. I'll tell you that. But he will never quit. And I say that to each of you. You can't make the shot if you don't get in the game. It's just very crucial. You have to get in the game. And I commend each of you for taking that step as entrepreneurs by getting in that game. And so one of the things that I realized about Jaden is that he had to believe in himself before he could even convince someone else to believe in him. And we have to do that in business. If you're not confident about the products and services that you provide, how do you expect for someone to purchase with you? How do you expect for someone to spend, their hard-earned revenue with you? You have to believe in yourself. you have to know that you have the solution to someone else's problem. And you have to be confident in that. And that's what transpired with my son. And so, you know, what I saw was a transformation from the inside to the what? To the outside. And so, as I moved to one of my last principles, I had the opportunity to share the stage with Dennis Kimbrough. And he's actually the author of Think and Grow Rich, Black Choice. It's actually the book that Napoleon Hill wrote, Think and Grow Rich. But it was a second version that he never was able to finish. And so I started reading this book. And before I even started chapter 1, there was a story about a farmer who was struggling with his land. The soil was very hard. And so he was not being very profitable. So of course, he heard in the grapevine that there was another way to get riches, right? Get money fast. And so he literally sold his farmland for pennies on the dollars, chasing after this dream of finding riches. And so he traveled the world looking for diamonds so that he could get rich. And through all of the depression, of the unsuccess and the failure, do you know he actually jumped in the river and killed himself? Yes. I couldn't believe it. And lo and behold, the gentleman that purchased the farm was out in the field one day and came upon a rock. A rock. And when he looked at the rock, you wouldn't believe what that rock was. It was a diamond in its rough state. So the entire time, he was living on one of the largest diamond mines in the world. And sometimes we do that.
That's right.
Yes.
We have everything that we need to be successful right now, but we're looking everywhere else because we think that the grass is greener on the other side. How many times have you basically blew past a blessing trying to get something else, trying to get something greater, right? And so literally, when I read that, I'm like, wow. All he had to do was educate himself. That's all he had to do was educate himself based on the transformation of a diamond. What it takes to transform coal or diamond in its rough state into a diamond. And so I leave you and say to you that in order to be prosperous, profitable in your fields, sometimes you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself at the level in which you want to succeed. So what are you feeding yourself? And I want you to think about that. What are you feeding yourself on a daily basis? What are you listening to? Are you listening to, motivational videos and trainings? Every day I have affirmations. I read Grant Cardone, the 10X rule. So yes, my goal is $750,000. Someone may laugh, but guess what? It's my goal. And if you invest in yourself and learn, you'll see that you have everything you need to be successful. And so it's very important to, number one, expand your vision, to change from the inside out. And the last thing is, if you want better, you have to do better so that you can what? Live better. And it's a famous quote, C.G. Jung. Until you turn the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And I leave you with the fact that you have to operate in your purpose. And you have to do it on the conscious. And let me tell you, once I recognized what my true calling was and what my true purpose was, because I've shared with you, I started a business. That's how I met Julie, with the Sassy Shoe Gallery Company. I used to actually purchase shoes in bulk and stack 15 to 20 boxes in my Suburban, and I would drive around the city of Richmond and set up shop. But you know, I realized that that was just the stepping stone to where I am now. Because so many people wanted to know, how did you do it? How did you get funded? But if I didn't go through that journey, I wouldn't be able to share, to help individuals that need funding. Because now I know. And so no two journeys are the same. No two journeys are the same. And every obstacle is a lesson. And you have to be able to take that lesson from your obstacle, your situation, or your circumstances. And so if you want better, you have to do better in order to live better. So I am DeKesha. I don't know where I am on time. And I just want to thank each of you today. And I really share with you to live on purpose. Living your purpose. It is an amazing experience to be able to walk and know that you're changing and impacting lives. And what you ladies have here is changing lives in each of your businesses on a daily basis. So thank you very much. And I hope to see you all very soon. And I wish you all a profitable 2016.
Thank you so much for sharing. So, who would like to share something